see him playing Counterbalance this week, considering the success of combo in the past few weeks.
Yeah, Counterbalance has been...
That's something that he does pretty well.
Okay.
So he starts off, rolls a 7, and Alex rolls a smaller than 7 number.
Sure.
So Gerry's going to be on the play.
Okay. So let's see. Alex needs a top 16 to make level 8 this weekend, which would award him an additional play set of New Phyrexia. If he does not make top 16, he will most likely be level 8 after Orlando. So he'll have to wait until, I believe, M12 comes out to get his first free play set.
Whereas Gerry actually gets a free 4x of every new set of Magic, regardless.
Definitely. So it looks like Gerry's going to fetch up. Did he fetch up or did he mulligan? Okay, he mulliganed. It's tough to tell from this. Okay, so Gerry mulliganed and Alex is going to keep his hand. Somebody just tweeted in, these guys' decks aren't big enough.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have a good point. But Gerry and Alex decided to go with more traditional decks. We know Alex is with Merfolk. Not sure what Gerry's playing quite yet. Let's see if Gerry stays at his 6-card hand. Yeah. Oh, so he likes it, and he leads off with maybe a turn 1 top. Oh, wow, turn 1 Inquisition. So he is playing
nice.
Bug. It looks like he's playing some form of Bug.
Oh, that's what Lou... I'm sorry, that's what Nick Spagnuolo is playing as well. Okay,
awesome. So I see a Wasteland. Oh, wow. So Bertoncini wastes no time and does a Force of Will. So Gerry Thompson's Inquisition just turns into a Hematorak.
Yeah, it actually fixed his mulligan.
Yeah, it did. And now Alex wastes Gerry's Bayou.
It's a pretty strong play there.
And Gerry plays his own Wasteland. I think that's Gerry's only land in his hand currently. Alright, so Gerry plays a...
Burning Catacombs?
Yeah, I think that's what he's going to play. I think he just drew that.
Yeah, and he's probably going to Confidant, I'd say.
Yeah, no, you see Alex actually put a die on it, or dice on his deck, so he doesn't forget Ether Vial. That's actually legal now. It went back and forth a while, if you could have things that could help you remember, and, you know, putting counters on stuff or whatnot.
So it's... a huge problem when pacts first became legal, is that they did not allow that, and it made a lot of players lose a lot of games, so they started allowing it again.
Definitely. So he puts a counter on the Ether Vial, plays an island, and passes the turn. Dark Confidant was met with Daze last turn, but it looks like Tarmogoyf is going to resolve this turn. And I think this is the turn where Alex is going to start using the Vial. Put the commander in play and makes it 2 levels. So that thing could turn into a 4/4 flyer pretty soon. Gerry drew a tropical island, it seems like. So Gerry's out of the mana problems that he had because he actually had to rip land.
It's true.
So a Brainstorm, that's a Wasteland, a
Sunken Ruins,
and another land. So now it actually seems as though Gerry is kind of flooded.
Yeah.
And that Spell Pierce isn't doing too much right now. Goyf is definitely going to get in.
Man, Goyf's pretty big here.
And Bertoncini is just going to crack back and damage race Gerry. Bertoncini basically has double mana because that Vial allows him to play creatures without paying the casting cost, and his extra mana, he could just sink in and level up his guys.
Yeah, and that Maraudery gives his deck like an incredible amount of explosiveness. It's a Lord, like his other 2 creatures, but whenever he plays a Merfolk spell, he gets to untap a permanent or tap a permanent of his choice. So this can kind of let him combo off, where he gets to play every Merfolk from his hand very quickly. So, as a result, he has 1 card in his hand. That's also because he forced will, though.
So Gerry uses a Polluted Delta. Now Gerry can't even leave the Tarmogoyf back on defense because
they have Island Walk.
Exactly, and Gerry has a Tropical Island and an Underground Sea. They're dual lands, they're non-basic lands, but they also count as islands, swamps, and forests.
However, if Gerry has a spot removal spell for the Lord of Atlantis, he could perhaps get Alex to...
So Gerry quickly packs it in. Maybe Bertoncini didn't want the scoop because he thought it was a really good matchup, and he just figures hey, I'll just beat you straight up. Thank you for the offer.
Yep.
Or maybe there was another reason. We're not too sure. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, confirmed with Glenn Jones. He said Gerry did in fact offer the scoop, but Alex did not want the scoop. So they're gonna go to sideboarding. I have a feeling Gerry's gonna have a bunch of spot removal. Spot removal is really good versus a deck like
Merfolk.
Yeah, against a deck like Merfolk. If Gerry has something like Pernicious Deed, that could also be pretty good. It could just wipe out a bunch of Alex's guys. So we'll see how Gerry sideboards, and we'll see what happens game 2 where Gerry's on the play and maybe he does a mulligan. Somebody notices Alex's change in basic islands. So very perceptive right there. That he changed from Zendikar Islands to Unhinged Islands after his his recent success on the Star City circuit. And Alex actually put up his first success, solid finish on the Wizard circuit in Grand Prix Dallas. He made top 8. So he qualified for his first Pro Tour Nagoya because of rating, and he qualified for his first Pro Tour through an invite from Pro Tour Philadelphia. So it's pretty cool. So Alex is definitely picking up his game. He's probably getting a lot of practice here at the Star City events to practice for some of the other events that Wizards have to offer. So definitely really cool. Next weekend is the New Phyrexia. So there is a pre-release tournament by my house for a Jace. Ooh. So not only is it a pre-release where you could win new packs, play with the new cards, they're also just throwing in a Jace. And if you want to be like Christian Calcano and have a Jace, you should probably go to this tournament. But it's not a Moto Jace; it's actually a real Jace. So
Very
pretty
nice.
cool. Yeah. So Gerry is it's at Reality's Edge in New Jersey. So pretty cool.
North Arlington, New Jersey.
Gerry Thompson's
Right there
rocking
on Ridge Road.
a MTG Mom sticker with a track jack. It's actually back in the day, I used to give fashion tips to Gerry Thompson, and now I think he's probably more fashionable than me.
Yeah.
So congratulations, Gerry Thompson, for becoming very fashionable.
Sometimes the apprentice becomes the master.
Sometimes. And I was not aware of this, but I actually gave Gerry Thompson the name Gerry T when I played him back in Kansas City 2004. So I must have called him Gerry T a bunch during the match, and it stuck with him.
People like being called nicknames.
Yeah,
It's a good
definitely.
thing.
Yeah, nicknames are, as long as it's a good nickname, people usually get pretty happy, and we'll see what happens this game. So Alex gives a smile, Gerry gives a little smile. So Gerry's going to mulligan again, and Alex is going to keep this hand. So Gerry mulliganed twice. I don't know if I like this bug deck. I don't have the exact list yet. Mm-hmm. Do you know anything that we saw from last game and anything that we didn't see that's unique about this deck?
I don't know. It might just be like a Team America variant.
Okay.
We're not really sure. All the cards we've seen are pretty standard cards you'd see from these colored decks. Like we saw Goyf and Confidant. We saw Wastelands. We saw discard effects.
Sure.
We haven't really seen anything particularly unique about this list, and I'm sure there's something special going on here. But game 1, it didn't get to enter play.
All right. So this hand looks much better for Gerry. And he's going to lead off with a turn 1 Inquisition. Last time Alex Force of Willed it. Let's see if he does the same thing.
Alright, so
pretty much the same play.
Alex
and
forces the Inquisition.
Gerry makes up on his mulligan right there.
Yep.
Force of Will's a good card, but it's going to cost you 2 cards most of the time. For the price of 1.
Now, Gerry has an Ensnaring Bridge in his hand.
Does he?
Yes.
That's a unique card, and it's good when you mulligan.
Card. It is good when you mulligan.
So his Underground Sea gets wastelanded. And
he has a Life from the Loam, not necessarily a combo, the other card in hand.
I think he has a Hemtark in his hand.
Oh, that's not an Ensnaring Bridge.
Yeah, I usually that deck doesn't play Ensnaring Bridge, but...
Yeah, I was surprised to see it.
So, Bertoncini plays at Ether Vial. I think Gerry thought... Alright, and he's going to sack the Polluted Delta. probably to go fetch up a Underground Sea so he could play this Hemdatorok as long as he has another black mana in his hand. And I think he does in the form of a Misty Rainforest. So maybe he'll go get a Bayou right now. Yep, Bayou.
Seems right.
So hopefully Gerry gets a little bit lucky with this Hemdatorok. That's usually what Hem comes down to.
Yeah.
It could be game breaking. You get the person's land, you get this person's really good spell, get a little lucky. They're left with almost nothing.
Yeah. Now, if Alex doesn't have a Daze here, he's in really big trouble actually, because after using that Force of Will, getting hemmed is a pretty big deal.
Definitely. All right. Well, he's going for Life of the Loam instead. Figured it'd be a good time to let this resolve. You can always dredge it back if it needs to be. And Gerry's got to definitely makes up from that mulligan.
Yeah.
Alex decides to put a counter on the Ether Vial before he draws, because you got to do an upkeep, but he's light on mana. So Gerry seems to be in control of this game. He also drew a Maelstrom Pulse, which is good versus Merfolk, because they play 4 of most creatures. So maybe you could 2 for 1 really important creature. There comes the Hemdatorok, one of my favorite cards.
Matt Sintarski, if you are in the room, please come up to the main event stage. Matt Sintarski.
Alex is going to let this resolve, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I mean...
Not much to do with one... Oh, wow. Force of Willing. So, Alex pays another life, but decides to say, hey, Gerry, I want to discard the cards I want to discard, so that Hem's not going to resolve. But I think Gerry's fine with that. And Alex draws a card for the turn, 2 counters on the Vial, and here comes a 2-1, where he will draw a card when it comes into play.
Pretty good when your opponent just hemmed you.
Definitely. Now, do you actually have to show a Merfolk when you do that off Ether Vial, or do you not have to show a Merfolk?
No, you do not have to show Merfolk, because the Silver Gull Adept, you only have to pay the extra 3 as you cast it.
Awesome. So it's a 2-1, draws a card for free. Maelstrom Pulse will target the 2-1, and let's see if Alex lets it...
the Vial.
Oh, sorry, the Vial. Yeah, I thought it makes more sense to target the Vial, but it looks like he pointed at the 2-1.
Alright, so Gerry here can play Jace the Mind Sculptor. It's
He
a pretty
could.
good one. He also has Smother in hand.
I kind of feel that Gerry might think Alex maybe has some form of counter, maybe a Spell Pierce or a Daze, but he's going to play out Jace, and let's see if it resolves. And it does. So, Fate Sealing Alex, and decides to leave it, so I'm guessing that's not a land.
Yep.
And they might go back and forth playing I'll Fate Seal you, I'll attack you until Gerry draws a threat, or Gerry decides to smother the 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
Here comes the Thoughtseize. Gerry wants to see what's up in Alex's hand. And Alex decides to show his hand of a bunch of creatures. It is a Spell Pierce. Is that it? Yeah, so it's just a bunch of creatures. Yeah, it's a Sower, it's 2 Lords, 3 Lords actually, a Commander, Sow of Temptation, a Spell Pierce. So he's probably just going to take one of the Lords, and in my opinion, it's looking really bad for Alex. I don't think he could come out of this.
Yeah, it's a pretty rough spot in general.
Definitely. Especially with Gerry having a Smother in his hand and a Brainstorm to refill on good cards.
Yeah, especially because the Brainstorm with the fetch land is going to allow Gerry to refund 2 cards that he didn't want to draw off the top.
Yeah, like that Pluto Delta in his hand. He probably doesn't need that many lands.
He probably won't continue to play lands, and instead he'll hold those lands in his hand, and then he can cast his Brainstorm, put the lands back on the top of his library, and then he can shuffle his library. With
what he could also do is actually play the Pluto Delta, sack the Misty Rainforest, sack the Delta, then Life of the Loam back to sack lands, and then when he has no more lands to fetch out in his deck, then he can get rid of those sack lands.
Yeah, he can do that too.
Yeah, so Gerry's in great shape here.
That's a great endgame.
And Gerry drew into a Tarmogoyf, so now Gerry has a clock. The Jace is a clock, because Jace is going to get up to 12 counters, whatever the ultimate is, but now he's going to have a clock in the form of a creature. And when Goyf comes down, I wouldn't be surprised if Alex just scoops it up. Gerry searches up a Bayou. Gerry's life is 12. Pretty much he did all the damage from himself. He did a bunch of sack lands, did a Thoughtseize.
Yep.
So Now Gerry gained a life magically, so maybe he's at 13.
He used 3 fetches and thought seize, and then got hit by Adept once.
All right, Jason, once again, Fate Sails. And he's going to leave it on top, so not a land. Here
Perhaps
comes
a
Thunderguard.
non-basic for his Wasteland.
I think if it was a non-basic, such as like Mutavault or something, there's a chance that he does leave it on top because most of Alex's hand is blue-blue, so that's definitely a good call.
Especially in a Wasteland.
Yeah, definitely. But chances are it's probably just another spell.
Yeah, Alex's deck does not play a lot of land. It's
I think it's 20 lands, usually.
Yeah, I mean, which is fine when you consider like the fabric of the deck and like the fact that it plays Vial.
Judge Eric, he will get you underway. Draft open top 8. Please find Judge Eric. We'll get underway.
Fate Seal once again. Leaves it on top. Gerry's going to play Dark Confidant. And he's going to swing him with the Goyf. So Alex will probably just take this. Should be a 5-6. Alex draws. And he scoops it up. So we are going to game 3. It's Gerry Thompson on the right against Alex Bertoncini. Gerry Thompson offered a concession. Alex Bertoncini denied it when Alex is in, is searching for a top 16. So let's see what happens in game 3. We are here at the Legacy Open, Star City Game Legacy Open. We saw Nate Peace win the trophy, the title, the championship with Callblade. And now all these Legacy players are battling it out. Who's going to win? Team Italia, maybe? Maybe Bug? Rashad's shaking his head. He doesn't think Team Italia's going to do it. Somebody want to try out with Team Italia. So we'll see what happens. There's still combo out there. There's some dredge decks. There's a Battle of the Wits deck. So if you guys missed it, you guys definitely have to watch the replay. Kenny Meyer, turn 3, killed somebody pretty much with their own card by playing a Battle of Wits off a show and tell. So that was definitely really something awesome to see. And it's just so far been a great tournament for both Type 2 and Legacy. Type 2, we saw a few decks that you might not have expected to see in Top 8. We saw Mono Red pretty much shoot out of nowhere. We were unaware that this Mono Red deck was even in Top 8 contention. All of a sudden, he's in Top 8.
Yeah.
Black Red Vampires had a feature match in round 7. He took down Dan Jordan, I believe. Mm-hmm. And actually, Dan Jordan lost to Valakut, but Black Red,
he took down a Rug player.
You took down a Rug player, yeah. And he made Top 8, and Oren Beasley put up another good performance after Grand Prix Dallas.
Playing Rug.
Playing Rug, yep. Made it to the top 4, so definitely pretty cool. But now it's back to Legacy. One side, Gerry Thompson, he won game 2. Alex Bertoncini won game 1. And so they're going to game 3. Alex will be on the play, which is a pretty good advantage because he could get down his turn 1 Vial. But if Gerry has a lot of discard like Hem to Torok, Thoughtseize, Inquisitions, the Vial becomes less valuable because if Gerry gets to discard Alex's creatures, he's not going to have anything to do with the Vial. So it's just pretty much going to sit there. Vial is usually best against decks with counter magic, so the Vial could just sneak past all counter spells, mana leaks, whatever your favorite type of counter spell may be. So Alex and Gerry having some small talk.
And the Vial's just so good in Alex's deck. His deck, it doesn't have a lot of lands. It wants to do a lot of stuff, and Vial lets it do it without having to pay the mana.
Definitely.
It allows you to be proactive and reactive at the same time.
So Alex will be on the play. Both these guys are shuffling, but it's not like they have to shuffle a 250-card deck like Kenny Meyer or Ken Adams, who's playing a 241-card deck. Unfortunately for Ken Adams, he is 0-2 right now.
Oh, it's not good.
Usually only 2 players who decided to play Battle of the Wits today. A few other players were talking about it. They thought it would be something really cool, something awesome for everybody at home to watch. And if somebody did well with it, that would be even better. But only 2 players decided to go with the Battle of the Wits deck. We have lots of other decks out there, though. Cephalid Breakfast, I know Oren Beasley's playing that. I'm sure a bunch of people are playing Junk. Someone has told me that Evan Irwin is definitely playing
Team Italia.
Team Italia. I'm gonna after this, I'm gonna take a walk. I'm gonna go look for Evan Irwin, see if he's playing Team Italia. Maybe we could get him in the booth. He's one of the StarCityGames.com workers.
Yeah.
Not only does he bring you the Magic Show, he's bringing you help with a bunch of other stuff. So thank you, Evan Irwin.
Yeah, I just filmed a opening for the magic show outside.
That's awesome. All right, wow. So this time, Alex mulligans and Gerry mulligans as well. Gerry shows, I believe, 3 or 4 brainstorms, and probably no lands, because if you had 3 or 4 brainstorms and a land, you would probably keep. So
the worst is when you keep like 1 land brainstorm and then you brainstorm and there are just 3 non-lands there, and you know that you're just going to be drawing non-lands forever.
Yeah, it would be pretty bad. And thank you, Gerry Thompson and Alex Bertoncini, for actually playing this match out. A lot of people wanted this match to be played out, and you know, Gerry and Alex are playing it out. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Now, Gerry is definitely playing a more like land still-ish build of this deck. I don't think he has standstill itself in the deck, especially after board.
Yeah. Gerry has Hem to Torok, he has Inquisition, he has Thoughtseize. So he likes the hand destruction, and we'll see if it pays off for him. He also has Jace, so he's got a lot of way to...
Yeah, he has a lot of ways to interact with his opponent. He can create a lot of card advantage. He has a lot of like permanents that can just like stay on the board and like have this forever effect where they continue grinding him card advantage throughout the game. Life from the Loam. It's also like another way. Like he, as a control deck, often you're worried about cards like Mishra's Factory. Gerry's deck deals with that with Wasteland, Life from the Loam, which can be a very potent combination against a lot of players.
All right, so Alex starts off with a turn 1 island. Gerry goes with a Misty Rainforest. Probably going to search up an Underground Sea. That's his go-to land, especially when he has Brainstorm in his hand. I saw a Mox Diamond in Gerry's hand. I'm not a fan of Mox Diamond. A lot of people like it. You could get a turn 1 Dark Confidant. So instead, he leaves off with an Inquisition.
So he has a Submerge, a Sower, a Silvergill Adept, and a Coral Helm Commander. And he has a Wasteland as a second land.
Personally, I would take the 2/1 that allows him to draw a card.
Yeah, he can't cast the other spells, so...
And Gerry makes the correct pick. Wow, and Bertoncini just draws it off the top.
Yep.
All right, so Gerry draws the Mox Diamond we were just talking about. I can see right now Gerry wastelanding Bertoncini's Wasteland.
Yeah, that seems like a pretty good play. He can also then like
Ghastly Demise. Yeah,
and he has pretty strong control of the game at that point.
Yeah, he definitely does. This is actually looking pretty good for Gerry.
So
early in the game,
worth it to Ghastly Demise a Silvergill Adept though. It's pretty easily trumped in the matchup for him.
Sure, he would rather save it for a Lord or something better, but maybe Gerry wants to preserve his life total. All right, so he goes to the Dark Confidant.
I like that play.
Yeah, Gerry's a little bit light on lands, so he wants to get Dark Confidant out there, which will allow him to draw extra cards and fuel up his hand. Alex Bertoncini does have a Sower, but that's not until 4 mana. Wasteland on the Underground Sea. And Gerry reveals a Inquisition of Kozilek. Gerry really wants to land right here. And Gerry does not get it. Instead, he gets the Tarmogoyf. So, I believe that Gerry will swing in with the Dark Confidant, and he will probably Inquisition away Bertoncini's 2-drop.
Yeah, I mean, Bertoncini has multiple 2-drops.
Yeah.
Right?
The other play is Gerry could just Brainstorm and try to get a land.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think you do.
Yeah, I didn't see Brainstorm at first. I thought he had it originally. So, yeah, Brainstorm is definitely the right play. And, wow, he gets to a Bayou, which is very important.
Yeah, just that extra land there is going to be pretty good. Now he also has a second Ghastly Demise.
He does.
This ensures that, you know, he's not really going to be behind by Alex's Lords. Like, he can just stick a Tarmogoyf and use that as defense against the Silvergill Adept. He just needs to preserve his life total a little bit, and he'll be fine.
Yeah, and it should be fine. Next turn, Gerry's not going to hit a land, it looks like, but he will have 2 mana, pretty much of any color, and he'll be able to either Ghastly Demise, do some discard with Hem to Torok. So he swings in for 2.
He's going to take a pain from that Confidant.
And here comes Inquisition. And yep, he takes his 2-drop. So Bertoncini has a hand of 2 3-drops, a 4-drop, and a 5-drop, and only 1 land to play. So this game is looking very good for Gerry.
He has Submerge, but I don't think Gerry's going to let himself get blown out by that card when he knows it's there.
Gerry reveals a Ghastly Demise, taking 1 damage. If I was Alex, why wouldn't he just submerge that Dark Confidant right there?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Seems pretty good. So I think Gerry right now will go for a Hem to the Torok and try to take some of Alex's cards away, just to get him even lower on resources.
I think you just slam a Goyf, right?
Goyf's another good option.
Oh.
So Gerry has a few options right here. Alright, so he goes with the Goyf, goes more aggressive play. Well, Bertoncini draws the days. Maybe that's what Gerry was thinking about when he had the option for the Hem.
Yeah.
Maybe not, though. Gerry reveals a Smother.
At this point, I would just use a Ghastly Demise to deal with the thing, because like I'm using my life as a resource for cards at this point.
Yeah, I mean, this turn, he could definitely go Hem to Torok and smother a creature. Or, I'm sorry, and Inquisition... Oh, I'm sorry. Hem to Torok and Ghastly Demise.
Yes.
Yeah, that's definitely
what I would do.
That's definitely the play here. Bertoncini has 5 cards. No randomization there. Gerry just picks 2 cards.
Yeah. Did he get the Submerge?
I'm not sure if he got submerged. They did it pretty quick. No, they did not get the Submerge. There's a Submerge right there. I guess that's what Alex was waiting for Gerry to crack a fetch land. Gerry doesn't really mind, though, because he's on 9 life, and the Dark Confidant already got him a lot of cards.
Yeah.
There's an Underground Sea, and most likely a Ghastly Demise.
Now, next turn, Gerry's going to him away Alex's remaining 2 cards if Alex plays a card here. If not, he's going to him away 2 of his 3 remaining cards. And either way.
And he'll be left with 2 removal spells.
Yes, so this looks really good for Gerry at this point.
Oh, he decides not to hem. He wants to get his last 2 cards. Wow, this is played very well by Gerry.
This is excellent by Gerry. Gerry now, he can smother this Lord.
Oh, wow, Brainstorm.
Ooh. Him. And...
he's going to hold the Brainstorm for a sack land, because the Brainstorm doesn't do too much right there.
Yeah, it's not quite as effective as it could be.
Ah, well, he's got Ghastly Demise for it. I think... I'm not sure.
Did he drop the top?
I'm not sure. But he's holding Brainstorm for 1 more turn, it seems like. A Thoughtseize, yeah.
Ooh, an Inquisition. That's not good.
He's going to keep waiting for a sack land to shuffle away those discard spells. There's a Jace, wow.
That's a good one.
Yeah, this is probably game over. I would just go instant Fate Seal. Yep, Gerry makes the same play as me. And this looks really good for Gerry. Sure, you could waste land my Bayou because I have a Jace that's getting counters. I think right now it would be a good time to actually play the Brainstorm.
I mean, you can just play it on his turn.
Well, I would want to play it right now and just see what I actually draw before I would Fate Seal. You know, because if I get to a removal spell, maybe I'll allow him to keep a creature on top.
Fair enough. I like that.
Alright, just a Curse Catcher, doesn't do too much. There's a Repeal, pretty cool combo. Repeal your guy.
Thoughtseize.
Now I'm going to make it discarded. Alex should have definitely sacked it. Alright, he does.
Jace goes to 9 counters. Gerry leaves a land on top, passes. Alex plays the island. And
there's an island on top again. I think Alex knows that he's probably... Okay, so Thompson wins 2-1. And Alex Bertoncini's quest to make top 16 gets halted by Thompson, pushing him to the 2-1 bracket, while Gerry himself goes to 3-0.